Mm. Hello there. Hello there, you guys. Welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more latest news. So, as you did see my match reaction yesterday night for the Manchester United PSG game, absolutely unbelievable indeed, and one of the greatest achievements for Manchester United in Champions League history. So officially, Manchester United have now made history in the Champions League. One of the greatest Champions League, greatest comebacks of all time as well. Absolutely fantastic indeed, and one of our greatest matches in Champions League history as well. Absolutely unbelievable. Manchester United beating Paris Saint-Germain away from home by 3 goals to 1. Now Solskjaer himself has got confidence, as he said, and he thinks he's confident Manchester United can go all the way and lift the Champions League. And Solskjaer's come out and said, that's what we basically do and all that. And basically, when Solskjaer as a player, one of his most iconic moments, of course, was in the Champions League, of course, as well. Now, as a manager, one of his most iconic moments of the club's history, and it's absolutely fantastic indeed. Manchester United won the game by 3 goals to 1 yesterday night. Manchester United had 10 first team players out yesterday night as well, so we had quite a few inexperienced players playing on that pitch, and I didn't think Manchester United had done it, considering we had a 2 goal deficit to pull back, and Manchester United have done it because we was 2-0 down from the first leg as well, and it's absolutely unbelievable indeed. We do Solskjaer has obviously now as well he's also made history in the Premier League as well. Obviously we continue that our 100% winning record away from home as well, which is absolutely fantastic indeed. But as I did say, Manchester United did take the lead in the first couple of minutes, from Romelu Lukaku, as I said, and I think we capitalised on their mistakes very very well, to be quite honest with you. And now Lukaku, he scored another 2 goals last night, so that's 6 goals now in 3 games for Romelu Lukaku. As I said, and I've been very very impressed with his performances indeed. But I just don't know how we won the game, to be quite honest, because especially in the first half, after Lukaku put us 1-0, PSG had all the ball, they exploited us from left to right and all that. I thought basically, Ashley Young had a poor game as well, to be quite honest with you. Ashley Young wasn't that good, to be quite honest. Again, getting exploited far too easily. Of course, Solskjaer started Eric Bailly in the game as well. To be quite fair, I don't think Eric Bailly, was that good. Eric Bailly, I thought, was quite poor. So actually, Eric Bailly was in like an unnatural position. So Bailly had come off the pitch, and Diego Dalot had come on in the game, and he looked again impressive. When he came on as well. PSG had the majority of the ball. Especially they did have quite a few chances in the first half as well. And PSG equalised through Juan Bernat, as I currently said. Had Mbappe had got the assist as well, and then PSG must have had 80% of the possession in the first half. They exploited us left to right. Manchester United, couldn't even get the ball, in the majority in that first half. And all of a sudden, against the run of play, Manchester United, we actually take the lead again, through Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku scoring again, it was a Rashford shot. It was a great shot, to quite fair. Buffon, dropped the ball. Lukaku was there at the right time, to make it 2-1. And I'm still thinking to myself, can Manchester United do this? Can Manchester United do it? And then when we went 2-1 up, I thought, we slightly improved. When we went 2-1 up, we started to get a bit more of the ball, to be quite honest with you. And then, obviously, it was also very, very good as well in the game, to see, Mason Greenwood making his first team debut, which was very, very good because he's obviously, been very, very impressive for the reserves as well as Mason Greenwood. We also saw young Chong come on as well, making his third appearance, for the first team as well, which was very, very good to see indeed. I know, I was very, very impressed, to be quite honest with you. And it was 2-1, for quite a while in the game, to be quite honest with you. I think PSG had hit the post in the second half as well. But I just thought to myself, I didn't think Manchester United done it because PSG have got a lot of quality players. I thought they had too much quality for us. And considering that we had 10 players out, of course, as well, you could say basically, as reserve team has basically, beat Paris Saint-Germain. And then basically, right at the end, Manchester United get a penalty. There's a long debate, with the VAR. Obviously, we was waiting on the decision, what the VAR was going to say. Initially, I actually, thought it went out for a corner, but I think it was Diego Dalot strikes the ball. I think it had actually hit Kim Pepe's arm, and then there's a huge debate over VAR, of course, as well. And then yeah, the penalty had got given, and I couldn't believe it. To be quite honest with you, Rashford, stepped up, took the penalty. As I said, I was pretty very very nervous. I think himself he'd have been nervous, but it was an absolutely fantastic penalty indeed, and that now does progress us to the quarterfinals, the Champions League as well. Absolutely fantastic, and that's our first win in the knockout stages away from home since 2011 against Schalke. And it's a great result because PSG have got great players. They seldom lose at Parc des France, however you pronounce the stadium's name as well. So it's absolutely a fantastic result indeed. But that's going to be a memorable night, that we're never going to forget. And it just gives you a glimpse of 1999, when Solskjaer was a player and scored later on in that season. We won the treble as well. It was a great memorable night. In Turin, when we won by 2 goals to 1. In the group stages as well. It was a great memorable night. When we won the Champions League in 2008 also as well. So we've had fantastic nights as a club, as I currently said. But when Solskjaer was a player, he was part of a lot of comebacks as well. And he did say before the game, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he was actually confident going into the game, considering we had 10 players out, considering that we was 2-0 down there from the first leg as well. Considering that we was 2-0 down the first leg as well. Solskjaer basically said he was still confident because he said it no it's ever impossible, because obviously this club has got the history of it, coming back, a lot of times, especially, we did it under the Alex Ferguson as well. But Solskjaer does believe Manchester United, can go all the way now and win the Champions League of course as well. Of course, we're also in the FA Cup quarter-finals as well. Of course, we're also in the top four as well. So who's to say, we can't win the Champions League? PSG, of course, were one of the favourites, to currently win it. I think they're like the second or third favourites. It mentioned on the TV or something like that. But let's be honest, Kimpembe should have been sent off in the reverse fixture at Old Trafford, to be quite honest with you. But he didn't get sent off in the game at Old Trafford, as I said. But it was a handball. It was a handball. I think it had hit his top of his arm, something like that. And yeah, so absolutely fantastic indeed. It's a night we'll never forget. And Manchester United have officially made history in the Champions League. So that's now 9 away from home. Manchester United have won. So we do continue our 100% winning record away from home. In all competitions, we've won 14 out of 17. That's now 39 goals scored in the process. And, I think we're going to beat Arsenal on Sunday, to quite honest. This is going to give us a lot of confidence going into the Arsenal game. Maybe obviously we've got 10 players out at the moment. Obviously Paul Pogba was suspended, this is why he didn't play, but obviously he's going to be back for Arsenal on Sunday, and hopefully maybe a couple of our players that are injured at the moment, maybe some of them could be in contention to play against Arsenal on Sunday. We know definitely Martial's going to be probably playing on Sunday as well, as it did confirm, because Solskjaer did say it was unlikely he was going to play Martial against PSG anyway, so he's going to be playing on Sunday as well, which is very very good news indeed. But I think, this victory is enough now, to give Solskjaer the Manchester United job on a full-time basis. Of course, we still know investment is needed in the summer. And of course, Solskjaer is going to have a big say on our transfer plans in the summer as well. But I think he's done more than enough now, to get the job at Manchester United on a full-time basis. As I said, he hasn't really proven himself, in terms of winning any silverware as manager at the moment. But I do think that's definitely to come, because he was a great player for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. One of his most iconic moments obviously was in the 1999 final against Bayern Munich as well. And yeah, it was a great player. Won trophies. I think scored 126 goals in all competitions, as I said. But not as yet, he hasn't, really won out in terms of silverware as a manager. But I do think, that is definitely to come if Manchester United can get some new additions, to come into the club in the summer, because we do expect departures in the summer as well. And of course, when Solskjaer first came in, Manchester United, we're 11 points behind top four. And look where we are now in the league table. Look where we are now in the Champions League. We're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Look where we are in the FA Cup. We're in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup as well. So he's done them more than enough, to get the job on a full-time basis as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. And I think he's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy. As Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said, I think he's restored Alex Ferguson's spirit level at the club, without a shadow of a doubt. But Solskjaer, this has rolled back years years as well. And he said Solskjaer did say he was hoping that Manchester United could roll back years as well. And this is what Manchester United have done. And I didn't expect us to come back from that. I didn't expect that at all, especially considering that Manchester United had 10 players out. But to be quite fair, I've been very very impressed with Romelu Lukaku. As I said, I know there's been rumours that Manchester United could still sell him in the summer, but he's since Solskjaer's coming, I think his form's been rejuvenated fantastic. Well, I think he's looked good alongside Marcus Rashford. To be quite honest with you, I thought Andrews Pereira again didn't have a bad game yesterday. I thought he played okay. Andrews Pereira, to be quite honest with you, I thought Ashley Young was definitely poor. Again, I thought he was getting exploited far too easily on that right hand flank. I think Ashley Young was actually playing right midfielder. Bailly was poor. That's why actually Bailly had come off in the game as well. Bailly has been in and out of the team this season. He hasn't really had a lot of game time this season, but Bailly was really poor, to be quite honest with you. Bailly had actually come off, and then Diego Dalot, as I did say, had come on. PSG also lost Julian Draxler as well in the second half. He came off with injury as well. But Lukaku, I thought his anticipation was very well, and I think we capitalised on their mistakes very well. And obviously Solskjaer, I think, is the right man, because he's always got a game plan set out. As I did say, he knows what he's doing. He's a good tactician. It's good to see that he's giving the young players a chance as well. And he did say, regardless of the injuries Manchester United have got, he's going to give everybody the chance, including the young players, the fringe players, get the players to express themselves, get them enjoying playing football again, and this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done. And I think he's brought the fluidity back to the team. He's brought the confidence back in the team. He's brought the motivation back in the team as well. And it's really good to see, as I currently said. But Solskjaer, this will give him now the job it should do on a full-time basis. Solskjaer was coming out in the press himself. I think this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did currently say, and he did currently say, he's said about his contractual situation. He did say that he thinks his contract at Molde has currently expired. This is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had currently said. He obviously had two spells with Molde where he actually lifted two Norwegian titles. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, and he did basically say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that he thinks his contract is expired with Molde. Molde, from their perspective, have reminded him that he's still under contract with Molde till 2021, because they announced a couple of weeks before Solskjaer was appointed Manchester United manager that he had agreed a new 3-year deal, of course, as well. He's not going to be returning back to Molde because he's going to get the Man United job on a full-time basis. So I think Manchester United still have to pay an additional fee of around £7-8 million, of course, to give him the job on a full-time basis, of course, as well. There was talks if he does go back to Molde, he'd have to come himself, and Molde would have to come to an agreement on a fresh contract return. But it's not going to happen, definitely not, especially after that fantastic result yesterday. Solskjaer is going to get the job at Manchester United on a full-time basis as well. And it is essential as well, that we do get that top four, of course, as well. We could still win the Champions League as well. So if we win the Champions League, that gets us automatic Champions League qualification for next season anywhere. But obviously it's still essential, that we probably, do get the top four, of course, as well. And, hopefully we can progress in the FA Cup, and we can progress in the Champions League as well. Well, really, we don't need top four, if we win the Champions League, as I said. But we want to obviously, have a competitive summer transfer window as well. So that's always very essential. And of course, as well, reports do say, we're going to get around £200 million to spend in the summer as well. And Solskjaer's going to have his say on our transfer. He's going to have his say on our transfers in the summer. Obviously, we've still got to sort some contract renewals out as well. But as I did say, it was really good to see Mason Greenwood make his debut yesterday. He looked pretty a bit lively, when he came on. It was good to see Chong coming on as well. He's been playing well for the reserves. That's his third appearance now in the first team. Is Chong. He actually made his his first team debut against Reading in the third round of the FA Cup as well. He does look a really good player, does Chong as well. And this is really good, as I currently said, because Solskjaer's brought the belief back to the team. He's brought the fear factor back to the club as well. And the glory days are now returning to Manchester United, as I currently said, because Manchester United, considering that we did invest in the January window, considering that we've got injuries, Solskjaer has done an absolutely fantastic job indeed. We've won 9 away from home in all competitions, so we've got we continue our 100% winning away record as well, which is very good. We have not lost in the Premier League yet under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Overall, we've only lost one game, and that was in the first leg to PSG, and that's the only game Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has currently lost. So he's made history in the Premier League, as I currently said. We've now made history in the Champions League, one of the greatest Champions League comebacks of all time, one of our greatest matches in Champions League history as well. And obviously, it's one now. Solskjaer's a manager. This is one of his most iconic moments of the club's history, and it's absolutely fantastic indeed. And Solskjaer does believe now that Manchester United, can go all the way and lift the Champions League as well. But we've had great memorable nights, as I currently said. That was a great memorable night in Stockholm. When we won the Europa League, when we beat Ajax 2-0. Great night, against Juventus when we beat them in Turin 2-1. It was obviously great memorable night. When Solskjaer was a player in 1999 as well. So we've had a lot of great nights as well. But that night last night, will be a night never to forget, as I currently said. But in relation, to Romelu Lukaku, I think his performances have been absolutely fantastic indeed. I think his finishing's improved. I think there's areas of his game has adapted fantastically well. Since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, I think his anticipation, is looking very very good. Romelu Lukaku. I know there has been rumours going on that he could still possibly leave Manchester United in the summer, because we still know that he's slow and we know that his first touch really concerns us. But since Solskjaer's coming, I think his form has been rejuvenated, fantastically well as well. But there has been rumours going on that Manchester United could still, sell him in the summer. Man United will look to recruit the initial £75 million they paid for him from Everton. Of course, he's got a good pedigree in the Premier League as Romelu Lukaku. As we all know, he's got a really good pedigree in the Premier League. As I said, all in all, he scored 27 goals in his first season at Manchester United as well. And this was in all competitions, as I said. But there has been talks that Man United could still sell him. If Man United do decide to sell him, we have actually, he's actually indicated, that he does want to make the move to Juventus. There's Romelu Lukaku, if Man United do decide to sell him. But as I did say, there were reports coming out yesterday, as I updated you on one of my live videos yesterday. It did say allegedly Man United will make a move, £120 million move for Paulo Dybala from Juventus if Lukaku is to leave this summer, reportedly. There has been talks in relation to Paulo Dybala. Man United have showed an interest in him, an interest in summer interest in Paulo Dybala. It did say the rumours going on that there could be a possible player plus cash deal involving Romelu Lukaku as well. This means obviously Man United willing to offer 120 million, for Dybala, plus willing to offer Lukaku as part of the deal as well, reportedly. But I think Lukaku, he did say if he is to leave, he wants to go to Juventus because he's keen on playing, a monster Cristiano Ronaldo and all that. But I do really like Paul Dybala. If Lukaku is to go, he would be a really good replacement, for Romelu Lukaku, with Paulo Dybala. Paulo Dybala, of course, he's still 25 years of age. Of course, he is Argentinian as well, and it probably will take a bid in the excess of around £120 million anywhere to probably convince Juventus to sanction Paulo Dybala off. This is fourth season now in the process with Juventus. I think Juventus must have paid around 32 million, was it, for him, from Palmo as well, Paulo Dybala. For the majority of his silverware, he has won, as obviously become as a Juventus player as well. But I think Juventus are reluctant to let him go, because Juventus know how much of an essential player he is to their team, of course. But if Man United willing to pay £120 million for him in the summer, this probably would convince. This probably, would convince, Juventus to offload him, as I clearly said. But, this is his fourth season now at Juventus. Of course, he's Paulo Dybala's, but it's said Man United will make a £120 million move for him. Of course, he's never played in the Premier League. Dybala, he's Argentinian, he's only 25 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, as I said. But he's an absolutely quality player without a shadow of a doubt. But it only said we'll make the move for Dybala of around £120 million if Lukaku does leave in the summer, as I said. So he could still possibly leave, even though he's been in fantastic form as later Romelu Lukaku, as I said. There's also been talks going on in the media, as I have updated you, as Lukaku and Icardi as a potential swap deal as well. I do really like Icardi again. I think he's a very good player. I think Inter Milan, have showed an interest in Romelu Lukaku, so they've been interested in replacing Icardi, for Romelu Lukaku and Inter Milan. Icardi again, very good player. He's just recently turned 26. Of course, he's Argentinian as well. He's an efficient finisher. Is Icardi as we all clearly know. Again, very, very good player indeed. Obviously valued at around £100 million, because obviously I think his release clause is around £100 million. I think this is his sixth season now with Inter Milan's. His Icardi's, as I said, his sixth season now. Obviously the majority of his goals I've scored have obviously have come at Inter Milan. He has scored over 100 odd goals. Since he's been an Inter Milan player. Is Icardi. He's Inter Milan's ninth highest top goal scorer of all time as well. He's actually an ex-Sampdoria player where he actually had one impressive season. He actually, as well, when he was younger, he actually graduated from Barcelona's youth system as well. Did Icardi. But reports do say that he actually recently, lost the captain's armband. Did Icardi. And I think Inter Milan are increasingly, last time I heard, are increasingly, becoming frustrated with him. So I've heard that there has been talks of Romelu Lukaku and Icardi as a potential swap deal as well. So there's been rumours about that going on as well. But I do really like Dybala. He's a quality player, but Juventus know how much an essential player he is to their team, of course. And since he's been at Juventus, he's made over 100 odd appearances. At Dybala. He's scored loads and loads of goals as well. But yeah. As they currently say, yeah. So there has been rumours about that going on. Hopefully, as well as I did say, hopefully we can still sort contracts out. Hopefully somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement of getting Marcus Rashford a new contract at Manchester United. Because he did say, before the Liverpool game that himself, he indicated that he was on the verge of signing a new 6-year deal, Marcus Rashford, and he does deserve it based on his fantastic performances. Scoring the winner from the penalty spot yesterday, which is very, very good to see, from Marcus Rashford as well, and he does deserve a new contract, based on his fantastic performances. He has been playing a key role in the squad as Marcus Rashford. As I did say, looks very, very more effective when he's playing in central position. I don't really, really like him out wide, to be quite honest. I think he's better in a central position, to be quite honest with you, is Marcus Rashford. But I think he's still on the verge of signing a new 6-year deal. This will take him under contract till 2025, take him to the age of 27 as well, because he's 21 at the moment, is Rashford, and his current deal ends in 2020 still. There's obviously an option of a further year there as well. I haven't heard much news about lately, but it did say, there had been breakthrough in negotiations as well. But I think everything's improved about him. I think his form's been rejuvenated. He's playing in more of an effective position. His finishing's improving. He's scoring more goals as well. And I think he's blending in the team now fantastically well. I think he's always been a very, very good player as Marcus Rashford, because he has been in United player since the age of 7. He's been in the senior squad with us, since 2016, as well as Marcus Rashford. So he has been a very, very consistent player indeed. I still don't think he's on like the same kind of level as Kylian Mbappe, because I think Kylian Mbappe is a world class player. Of course, he's younger than Marcus Rashford. As I said, his pace is unbelievable. The way he gets them runs in behind is unbelievable as well, and he does cause problems, for opposition's defence. Does Kylian Mbappe. So I don't think Rashford's quite on his like. I don't think Rashford's like on his level as yet. Kylian Mbappe. To be quite honest with you, Rashford still definitely deserves a new contract. Based on his fantastic performances indeed. And of course, hopefully somewhere along the line, again, hopefully we could come to an agreement of getting Ander Herrera a new contract at the club as well. We know he's injured at the moment, but obviously we know mainly before his injury he's been irregular, especially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in. And I do think he's fitted into that midfield trio, fantastically well as Ander Herrera. And he does deserve a new contract based on his performances. Before his injury, he's been breaking up the play very, very well. He's been fitting in that midfield trio fantastically well as Ander Herrera. Of course, he's got a hamstring injury at the moment, as we all can. I don't know when he's going to recover from injury, but yeah, Ander Herrera, as I currently said, he deserves a new contract, based on his fantastic performances indeed. Based on his fantastic performances, indeed, as well. But I just couldn't believe it, Now, obviously, we've got injuries. Manchester United, of course, have got injuries, as we all currently know. We do know, obviously, that Martial is set to play on Sunday against Arsenal, which is very, very good news indeed. Because when he's been fully fit, he's been providing that width very, very well on that left-hand side as well. And he has still got a lot of years ahead of him as well as Anthony Martial. Of course, he just recently had a groin injury, so I think he's going to be back on Sunday. Juan Mata did say he obviously missed last night. He's going to miss Sunday as well. Is Juan Mata, of course, and we know mainly anyway he hasn't been first choice. Juan Mata, as I said, because obviously Lingard got injured before Juan Mata, of course. Juan Mata was, he got a few games under his belt, but we still know that he's a very, very consistent player with Juan Mata. He's been in the Premier League, a lot of years now as Juan Mata, as I currently said. Of course, he's won everything in the Premier League apart from the Premier League, and that's the only thing, Juan Mata hasn't won, but he's won everything else, of course. He's been in the Premier League good, 8 years now, is it? This is including, his 3 years he had with Chelsea as well. This is 5th season now, of course, with Manchester United as well. But I think, he actually loves the club. I think he's happy at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you, even though there was speculation about him possibly maybe leaving in the January transfer window, because he's aging up now, he is age 30. He has lost that yard of pace, but, he's still a very, very consistent player indeed. We know Jesse Lingard, of course, is still out with a hamstring injury himself. I don't know when he's set to come back from injury as well, Jesse Lingard, but he's been playing really, really well on that right hand side, of course, when he has been fully fit, because we do know, obviously, he has mainly been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice. I know you can put him in the attacking mid, but obviously, Solskjaer will mainly, obviously, putting him on the right hand side. So I don't know when he's set to come back from injury, because obviously, more things will currently update, as I said, and he's still young in his generation, is Jesse Lingard, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, as I said. Of course, I think, Manchester United definitely, going to get rid of Alexis Sanchez in the summer, without a shadow of a doubt, because I think Alexis Sanchez has been very, very inconsistent, as a Manchester United player, to be quite honest with you. He's been very, very poor indeed. I think Solskjaer himself, has lost faith in him, he's lost trustworthy in Alexis Sanchez, to be quite honest with you, because he's failed to make an impact, since he's come to the club. He hasn't fitted him under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system, Alexis Sanchez. So I do think Manchester United are going to get rid of him in the summer. Obviously his wages are a stumbling block in this scenario of Manchester United selling him, because obviously he's obviously on over £500,000 a week, and obviously he's the highest paid player at the club, the highest paid player in the Premier League as well, is Alexis Sanchez. So I do think Man United are going to consider selling him in the summer. He's age 30, he's lost that yard of pace, and he's just really failed to establish himself. He's just recently suffered another injury. He's now got a knee injury as like Sanchez, so he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks as well. And he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, and he's suffered quite a few injuries, since he's been at Manchester United, and he's enjoyed a difficult time. He's been here, just over a year, as I said, and, he's nowhere near the player he was at Arsenal as well. So, yeah, I think Man United are going to consider, getting rid of him in the summer as well. Of course, we know Matic is out as well. I think he's set to return from injury in late March, as it was currently saying, because Matic, of course, has got a muscle injury, as I said, and even though I know Matic is very, very slow, and, I've got strong reservations, about Nemanja Matic, as I said, and I have got strong reservations about Nemanja Matic, as I said. I think when he has been playing under Solskjaer, which has been regular, obviously he's always been a regular, obviously before he suffered this injury. I think he's improved, even though he's aging up. I've got strong reservations about him. He's very, very slow indeed, is Nemanja Matic, but I think when he has been playing, before he got his injury, I think his performance has improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said. So he's set to return, back in late March sometime. When obviously yesterday as well, Paul Pogba was suspended, and obviously we lacked that effectiveness, obviously, because when Paul Pogba's playing in that midfield, he provides good service to the front men. His breaks box to box are very, very good. He plays them delicate passes through and all that. So he was a big miss for yesterday night, because he's been one of our most influential players as Paul Pogba. I think he's okay in number 6, but I think he's much, much better in more of attacking position. When you do put him in that number 10 position, because he provides good service for the front men and all that. And Paul Pogba is absolutely world class. And I did say he's a player that can be on 14 to 15 goals a season. When he does play in that kind of Paul Pogba, because since Solskjaer's come in, his performances have been fantastic, in the league and all that. He's been absolutely fantastic. So he was a big miss yesterday night, but he is going to be back for the Arsenal game as well, which is very, very good news indeed. But I thought Lukaku had a great game yesterday night, as I said. The first goal was very, very good, capitalised on the mistake from PSG. He still had a lot to do. He rounded the goalkeeper fantastically well, avoided the challenge and put it straight into the back of the net, and that was from kind of a tight angle, as I said. So that was great. Absolutely fantastic indeed. from Romelu Lukaku, but there has still been rumours going on that Man United, could get rid of him in the summer. Of course, we've got other injuries as well. We know Valencia's still out with a calf injury. Darmian, of course, is still out with an injury as well. And I think Valencia and Darmian are likely players that are going to leave Manchester United in the summer, of course, as well. As I've already updated you on, Pogba is going to be set to be the new Manchester United captain as well for next season as well. And obviously now we've got injuries, in that midfield. It's really, obviously it's going to allow more opportunities for Fred. I don't know if Fred's a long-term solution, to be quite honest with you. Scott McTominay, who's, he's playing now. Scott McTominay, I don't think he's done too bad, to be quite honest with you, McTominay. Andres Pereira, put a pretty decent performance out yesterday night. He put a good performance out against Southampton as well. Did Andres Pereira, and Solskjaer. I think Solskjaer's keen, on getting Andres Pereira a new contract at Manchester United, of course, as well. Obviously, overall, he's had strong reservations about his game time, but obviously now we've got all these injuries. Obviously, especially the injuries we've got in the midfield. It's obviously going to allow more opportunities now for Andres Pereira, and he's proven himself fantastically well. Andres Pereira. Solskjaer's keen on getting him a new long-term contract at the club. He's been in negotiations. Solskjaer, about obviously Andres Pereira's future at Manchester United, of course. He is still, is he 23 years of age? When he was on his loan spells, with Valencia and Granada, he was actually, a first team regular, it was Andres Pereira, of course. He has found game time very, very difficult at Manchester United, but now he is going to get more opportunities, of course, considering, the string of injuries, Manchester United have got, and I think he's been blended in that midfield well. Of course, I think he was actually, full, he was supposed to be fulfilling Paul Pogba's role, as we all currently know. But yeah, what a great night it was for Manchester United yesterday. But obviously, there's still players that Manchester United are interested in getting. I know that Manchester United, we've obviously, showed an interest in Jadon Sancho, from Borussia Dortmund. And I think he celebrated, our fantastic victory against. Sorry guys about that. Just went off. So we know it's going to cost staggering amounts of money, to get his Jadon Sancho. As I currently said, this is why I went on my card yesterday, because the internet kept going off. To quite honest with you, but it says Manchester United, PSG are battling out for Jadon Sancho. It did say Man United are prepared to pay up to £100 million for Jadon Sancho, so we are willing to pay a 9-figure sum for a young 18-year-old who only broke into the England first team last year as well. So if Man United are to come to an agreement to get Jadon Sancho in the summer, and we are prepared to pay £100 million, this would make him the most expensive English footballer ever, and we are willing to break the transfer record of getting Jadon Sancho as well. But he's only 18 years of age. Of course, it probably will take a bid in the excess of at least £70 million anyway, to convince, obviously, Borussia Dortmund to sanction him off. And it would be ideal, maybe for Manchester United, to get some young players that could grow, develop and flourish under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said, because, a lot of people saying it is the experienced players, a lot of the experienced players, that is actually, causing us the problems. And he's English as well as Jadon Sancho, and of course, I think our pursuit of Jadon Sancho, obviously, our pursuit of Jadon Sancho in the summer, obviously hinges on Champions League football. I do think we're going to definitely get Champions League for next season as well. But obviously, financially, Borussia Dortmund would make a huge profit on the player, because obviously they only paid an initial, £8 million for him from Manchester City. So he's had experience of playing in English football, as I said, because he had a couple of years with Manchester City. Did Jadon Sancho? He actually never broke into the first team with Manchester City. But he had a couple of years. He began his youth career with Watford as well for a number of years. Did Jadon Sancho, and now he's under contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. So I think it'd be a great addition, if he was to come to Manchester United. We know he won't come cheap. Reports coming out saying City would receive around 15% of the transfer fee, something like that. So City would pocket around 15 million. It does say something like that, because I think City do have a buyback option on the player, because City inserted a buyback clause reportedly in his current contract as well, Jadon Sancho's, as I said. But Borussia Dortmund have been known for doing business with the players. They sold Aubameyang 59 million. They sold Ousmane Dembele for 106 million to Barcelona, was it a year or two ago? Now, they've sold Pulisic, because he's going to be officially a Chelsea player for next season as well. But Manchester United, of course, have identified him as a summer target, Jadon Sancho as well. It says also PSG have also been interested in him as well. We know the rumours continue to persist about Gareth Bale. Like there has been talks, that Gareth Bale could leave Real Madrid in the summer. Obviously, Gareth Bale is the highest paid player in world football, because his wages are a staggering £650,000 per week. Gareth Bale is getting. I think from Bale's perspective, I still think he's happy to remain in Real Madrid, but I think Florentino Perez himself, basically wants him out of the club, and Real Madrid want him out of the club as well. And I think they'll be looking to recoup the majority of that £85-86 million he initially paid for him from Tottenham back in 2013. But I don't see Tottenham, to be quite honest. I don't see Real Madrid to be be quite honest, recouping that 85, 86 million pounds, considering that he's age 29, he's aging up. He has still got a really, really good ratio, but considering he's got a record of injuries, so he is an injury-prone player as well as Gareth Bale. But Man United have potentially been linked to Gareth Bale, since the David Moyes era, back in 2013 and all that as well. So I think at one point we was actually close to getting him, back in the David Moyes era as well. But he's aging up, he's injury-prone, but overall, he has still got a very, very good ratio as Gareth Bale. And I don't think Real Madrid would get the initial 85, 86 million pounds, they paid for him, from Tottenham. So I don't think they'll recoup that money. Of course, when he was younger, he had 6 good years in the Premier League. Did Bale, he had 6 good years with Tottenham. He began his youth career with Southampton as well. Did Gareth Bale, as I currently said. But yeah, there's still the rumours going on about that as well. About Gareth Bale. Going on about Gareth Bale, as I said. Also talks have been going out in the media as well in relation, to Bruno Fernandes, guys, that have been updating on a basis, to Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, reports do say about that meeting that's going down. But yeah, as I did say, Man United have held talks with Sporting Lisbon over a summer move for Bruno Fernandes. Again, 24 years of age. He's Portuguese, reportedly, this player. But reports did say Man United were due to meet up with his representatives over negotiating, a potential summer move, for Bruno Fernandes. 24 years of age, of course. Reports do say his release clause is around £90 million, the Sporting Lisbon's player. Reports coming out, from Portugal based on Sporting Lisbon's financial problems. It did say Man United could get him in a cut price transfer reportedly in the summer, but he spent the entirety of his playing career actually in Italy. Did the play as well, because he's an ex-Sampdoria player, he's an ex-Under-Leeds player, and I think Sporting Lisbon paid an initial £8 million for him from Sampdoria. He's still got a contract with them until 2023, as we all currently know, as this Bruno Fernandes, but reportedly Manchester United have showed an interest in him as well. I think he's mainly an attacking mid, but he can play in other positions as well, so the player is versatile as well. And obviously Manchester United, we're still keeping tracks on, that young Benfica stars have been updating you on a regular basis, that Joe Felix as well, only 19 years of age of course as well, so very, very young in his prime. I think he cost staggering amounts of money, if Manchester United were to get him in the summer as well, because he's got a buyout clause reportedly of around 100, or is it 105 million pounds. But since he's broke into the Benfica first team, he only broke into the Benfica first team last year. Reportedly his performances have been very, very impressive indeed. He's yet to make his senior debut for Portugal, but Man United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye out on Joao Felix, and Man United have been watching him on a regular basis, as we all currently know. So these Man United are already, making plans, for the summer transfer window, of course. To hire a director of football to come in, because we do expect departures in the summer, and Solskjaer's going to have his say on our transfer plans in the summer as well. But Solskjaer, Ed Woodward's praised him, for the fantastic job he's done. His mentality is absolutely immense. His managerial style definitely suits the club. He knows he suits the chaplains of the club, and he knows the club inside out, as I couldn't say. But I didn't expect this as good a start, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. When he first came in, to be quite honest with you, because we've beaten Arsenal away from home in the cup, we've beaten Chelsea away from home in the cup. Now we've beaten Paris Saint-Germain away from home with 10 first team players out as well. So this has now got to be enough, to give Solskjaer the job at Manchester United on a full-time basis. So Manchester United now officially made history in the Champions League, which is good. One of our greatest matches in Champions League history, as I said, which is very, very good indeed. And obviously, Solskjaer as a player, one of his most iconic moments was in Champions League in 1999, 20 years ago, obviously. Now, as I said, and now as a manager, one of his greatest achievements. He's made one of the most iconic moments of the club's history as well. So this is one of our greatest achievements. Obviously, one of the greatest achievements, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United as well, especially in the Champions League as well. So yeah, that's very, very good indeed. Manchester United go up against Arsenal on Sunday. As I said, another big game coming up. It's essential that we do win that. So obviously, we can keep the pressure on the top four, but we don't need top four. If we win the Champions League, we've got a great chance of said, but we're all aware that investment is still needed, guys, as I said. But anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing to my channel as always, and take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very